You thinking of buying an electric car? No, thought not. They cost a fortune, even if they do save a small fortune in petrol. But should you be worried if your neighbour buys one? Will your lights blow when the neighbour plugs his car into charge? Well, Fair Go Gordon Harcourt has been investigating. I mean, electric cars aren't even here, and we're worrying about whether they're going to overload the grid.
Look, there's some surprisingly heavy brainpower going into this. I think there's fewer than 70 on the roads at the moment. There's the Holden's just started marketing the Volt. There's the Nissan Leaf, the Mitsubishi i-MiEV. I'm not sure how to say that. So it's not a big deal. But there's a projection: 80% of the light vehicle fleet by the middle of the century. That's a lot of electric vehicles.
And that's not that far away, actually.
No, and so there's a lot of heavy-duty people thinking about what it's going to do. All those people charging their vehicles, what's it going to do to the grid? And a rather disturbing interview with a British bloke called John Scott. He was a top engineer at Ofgem, the UK energy sector regulator. He says the grids will melt down. Basically, he's talking about if there's a whole lot of people on the same street plugging in their electric car, poof, your lights are going to go out. And you think about it, these things aren't going to be dotted around, are they? The electric vehicles are going to pop up in certain bits of our land, aren't they? They're going to be, the moneyed suburbs with the eco-conscious people. So, it's entirely feasible. There'll be half a dozen on the same street.
And they'll all be plugged in at the same time, no doubt, which will be the time when everyone else is making tea and putting the telly on anyway.
Well, potentially, exactly.
Holden, though, I mean, surely they've thought about this. What do they say? If they're the guys who are sort of leading the charge to bring the vehicles in?
Absolutely relaxed. They say basically charging your Holden Volt's like running a microwave. You can plug it straight into your 10-amp circuit, your bog standard socket, and just leave it running. And it's like it's a microwave. If everybody in Auckland had a Volt charged at the same time, yes, there'd be a problem, they say. But obviously that's not going to happen. Vector, the company that does the lines in Auckland, pretty much agree with Holden on that. But others are definitely concerned. I spoke to the bloke who runs Wellington Electricity. He said charging your electric car, it's like having an entire other house. So if you do have it, you've got to be careful about how you charge. And in fact, he said they're offering a separate tariff, a price structure for charging your electric car.
So they are already thinking about it?
Yeah. Look, I've got this report here. This is 2 years old. This is the Canterbury University, Transpower Orion. Electric vehicles impacts on New Zealand's electricity system. And the bloke from Transpower is interesting. I mean, it says in here that potential to significantly affect power quality. There's this thing called harmonics. I'm not even going to try to explain it, Rawdon. I don't pretend to understand it, but basically, if you've got a whole lot of cars charging in the same street, weird stuff can happen, and you're going to see it. Your TV and your radio will go a bit mental. Harmonics. I'm going to try and swat up on that today. OK, I want to change direction slightly.
Yes,
you did very well to stick with electric cars for as long as you did, because you've been wanting to talk about this.
Weeks. Gordon, you showed about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
We ran out of time.
We were talking about clamping vehicles if they were illegally parked, and we looked at that shot of a guy parked too close to the next one in a car park. You then brought in this incredible picture.
Have we got it? Have we got it?
I hope so. Let's see if we can see this. Here it is. Tell me about this, if it needs explanation.
This is the warehouse in Manukau. Now, this photograph was supplied to me by NZ Wheel Clamping, who clamped the bloke in the middle. Now, what is right about that parking? This is why people get clamped, That is why people get clamped. Apparently, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I'm told by the clamp, this guy kicked up a stink when they clamped him. He did pay up eventually, so I'm merely reporting. But what was he thinking?
But hold on, so do we know if he had even a... Because not only was he on the illegal, but between the disabled spaces, do we know if he had a disabled disc?
I don't care, frankly. I don't think he did, but it's irrelevant. The guy is parked right slap. The car on the left... Can we see the photograph again? Can we see it again? Let's bring it back. Look, the blue car. The person in that car, if they have a wheelchair, will not be able to get in that car.
Well, in which case, the only excuse I can... And I do think this guy has one valid reason to park like that, is if he is the only one of those 3 cars with a disabled sticker in his window, he's allowed to park like that, because the other 2 have stolen his spaces.
Rawdon, there's a silver lining in every car, isn't there?
Brilliant photo.
Amazing.
Please send us some more horrible, bad parking photos, and we won't even blur out the number plates next time. You're being too good.